What is going on, everybody? I know it's late. Had some things to do, had to run some errands. So unfortunately, this show is a little bit on the later side than it normally is. However, welcome to the channel. My name is Julien Stoutt. I'm a licensed personal trainer, licensed PE teacher, special education teacher, world record powerlifter, here to take the fear out of fitness. We're about to take off and class is in session. So, you see the title and the thumbnails. I'm not going to belabor the point, but how is your day today? How was your week? Did y'all enjoy your Labor Day weekend? I know I did. I'm excited, but I wanted to let y'all know a few things. But right now, if I have to remove myself from this broadcast for a brief moment or two, please forgive me because I've been drinking a crap ton of water. So much so, I'm going like every 20 minutes almost. Now, in preparation for this show, I actually stopped drinking water about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. So bear with me and let's see what happens from here. I don't intend on being here too long because I have some things to take care of before I go to bed and make it to work the next morning. But in all honesty, I was training a client of mine, and one of the things that I was bringing up was because cardiovascular work has not been my strong suit in the last 25 years. I mean, I was doing it and I was getting away with it in life because I was younger, I was more virile, I was energetic, I could do it. I could just go, right? Whenever I felt like it, I could just go. And because even if my fitness level was decreasing, it wasn't decreasing at a level where the average person would overtake me cardiovascularly or even, weight-wise, right? Unless they were extremely larger than me. But since I took up boxing, it has let me know real quick that if my cardio ain't cardioing, I'm going to be sucking. And so I woke up and decided to choose to be healthier. So I run at least now 3 times a week, as well as box at least 2 times a week. If I could help it, I'd do more, but right now I really can't. But I weight train at least 3 to 4 times a week in combination, sometimes doubling up on the same days that I box, right? So I've noticed that when I first started to do cardio, which is expected, that I wasn't so good at it. I used to run 6-minute miles. Those of y'all who know me know I'm not lying. Those who know me, especially when I was in the military, knows I'm not lying. I ran 6-minute miles. And when y'all hear what I ran just less than a month ago, y'all gonna be like, good Lord, man, you getting old. But I was running just north of 10 minutes a mile. Now, some of this did, in fact, have to do with nutritional deficiencies that I was having, namely not enough water, which lies in the point of why I'm peeing every 20 minutes just about now. But on top of that, I just had hip surgery when I say just, I had hip surgery about 3 years ago, and doing cardio on a bum hip doesn't feel too great sometimes. So you got to be real careful on how you're doing stuff. I got to be mindful. I can't be going stupid aggressively when I run, if running at all. And I was actively avoiding it for the better part of 2 years now. So with that being said, running the 10-minute mile doesn't sound so bad. But good news, in the last week and a half to 2 weeks, I've shaved a minute off of my run time. And I could if I was really pushing it. I could possibly even shave another minute off if I was pushing myself to my full capacity right now. Like if I was going all out right now, I could probably get it down to 8 minutes, which is roughly about average, right? It's going to take a little bit more effort to get it down to under 7, but I'm more than willing and prepared to do so by this. Hopefully by Christmas, I'll be reporting to you that I could run a mile in just over 7 minutes. By the end of the year, I'm hoping I should be just either at 7:30 or just under 7:30, considering that I'm going to be very consistent in my running, barring any unforeseen things, right? So in talking to my client and letting them know that, hey, we all have something to aspire to, even when we aging. But the thing is that I noticed that I didn't get old because of my age. I got old because of priorities. And I'll explain to you what I mean. When you are in your early teens, late teens, early 20s, you're literally just doing what you want to do. You don't have responsibilities as you're building a legacy. You are trying to create your own universe. As you get older, your priorities change. Your whole priority now is to become something that lasts beyond you. Or if something, God forbid, happens to you, that the people you left behind are going to have something to hold on to outside of your body because you no longer exist. But your efforts and hard work remains. And when that time comes, you start noticing things like, I need to sleep longer. Things like, I need to eat better. Things like, I need to spend more time at work. Things like, I need to work more. I need to get more things in. I need to do more in terms of acquisitions, in terms of business, in terms of occupation, in terms of occupational success, career success. You need to do more. Okay? And in that, what I realized is that it's not that you're too tired, literally, to go out and run, is that you know that you're not at your best in terms of career performance if you are totally giving your all in your physical activities. Okay? Yes, the body does change, but that's beside the point. The body does change some, but it doesn't, you don't break down because you got older. You broke down because your body stopped doing it. And because your body stopped doing it, your body started giving up some of what it had in order to allow you to do what you think you need to do for other reasons and other purposes. Now, obviously going all out and trying to squat 900 pounds or leg press 3,000 pounds and bench press, 700 pounds and all this other crazy crap, you gotta be mindful that your body is not the same after 30. It's not. Now, at 40, I was doing things at 40 that I was not doing at 20 and at 30. But at the same time, I gave up some of the things that I was doing at 20 in order to do things that I've never done. There's a trade-off sometimes. I've been 180 pounds, swole 180 at 5'4". I've been shredded at 160, jacked at 160. But when you are trying to perform at a certain level overall, you start to notice that you're giving up a lot to get that big. if not bigger. So I've decided that the happy medium is about 150, 155 pounds. I can stay there, right? But to no end, the truth is, aging does not happen the way we think it does if we are taking care of ourselves. Don't believe me? Well, let me show you. So, give me 1 second. So, here we go. How exercise helps you age. Key takeaways. Call off the search for the fountain of youth. Experts say the best way to slow physiological changes is through consistent, keyword consistent, exercise. In one study, researchers found that older adults who were vigorous cyclists had immune systems resembling those of much younger individuals. Brains may also benefit from regular exercise at an intense or moderate level. Research shows it may slow brain aging up to 10 years. Now, the truth is, even when people see the gray beard, I do it on purpose. I could dye it, but I choose not to. Because I do want to show my age to a certain extent. I don't want to show my age where I can't do anything, but I do want to show my age that I'm a grown-ass man. I'm not 21. I'm not 26. I'm not 35. 48 going on 49. All right? And as a result of that, I want people to know that, yes, even though I'm getting older, doesn't mean I'm getting older. I'm not walking with a walker. I'm not going to be, walking with a cane outside of the surgery that when I had it. I'm not going to not be able to participate in activities such as dancing, running. I mean, I don't hoop as much anymore. Actually, I don't hoop at all anymore. Not because I can't, just I don't have time to practice. I just don't have time to practice. I would have to give up boxing. I would have to give up weight training or something. I would have to give up something that I choose to do right now in order to hoop, and I don't want to. So, with that being said, let's read this article. Your treadmill may not be a time machine, but research shows that regular exercise can help slow the body's aging process. Exercise is the closest thing we found to a magic pill for combating the effects of aging. Dr. Linda Fried, Dean of Columbia University's Mailman School of Public Health, in an interview with Columbia Magazine. And by the way, this is from the National Council on Aging. That's because it works on every physiological system and keeps your entire body fine-tuned. It even stimulates your brain and helps to prevent cognitive decline. What are the benefits of exercise and how does it impact aging? So let's find out. Exercise bolsters immunity. Studies in adults ages 55 to 79 with long-standing exercise routines. Researchers at the UK's King's College London and University of Birmingham found that they had the immune systems of much younger adults. All the participants were recreational cyclists. An organ called the thymus, which makes immune cells called T cells, starts to shrink from the age of 20 and makes less T cells. In this study, however, the cyclist thymuses were making as many T cells as those of a younger person. Studies show that aging can diminish the body's immune response, making older adults more vulnerable to respiratory infections and other diseases. So for these cyclists and others who engage in high-intensity workouts, this is hopeful aging and exercise news. Exercise slows the biological clock. After examining data from more than 5,800 adults ages 20 to 84, Brigham Young University's exercise science professor discovered that adults who ran a minimum of 30-40 minutes 5 days a week had an almost 9-year biological aging advantage. That advantage is tied to something called telomeres. Now, telomeres, I can explain to you before we even read it, because I actually did read on this many moons ago. Telomeres are basically the ends of your DNA, is the end tips of your DNA. And as you get older, the more frayed they become. If you are doing the right things, they don't become as frayed, or they don't fray at all. So with that being said, let's roll it up. Let's see if I'm right. Telomeres are the nucleotide end caps of our chromosomes, DNA. Explains a BYU News report on Professor Larry Tucker's research. They're like our biological clock, and they're extremely correlated with age. Each time a cell replicates, we lose a tiny bit off the end caps. Therefore, the older we get, the shorter our telomeres. They become frayed. Same difference, right? The high-octane exercises have significantly longer telomeres than sedentary adults, conferring that almost 9-year biological advantage. They had a 7-year advantage over adults who were moderately active. We know that regular physical activity helps to reduce mortality and prolong life, and now we know part of the advantage may be due to preservation of telomeres. Exercise keeps the brain young. We're going to skip that one because we already spoke on that. How to enjoy and reap the benefits of aging while exercise. So I will just simply say you enjoy it by working hard, because the harder you work, the less likely you're going to experience that fatigue that comes with aging. Now, what I mean by that is you're still going to want to take naps and all that other good stuff, but at the same time, you're not going to, when you're pushing your body to do things at certain times, you're not going to be as exhausted, if that makes sense. So, aging is a physiological process that can be influenced for the better, delaying it, or worse, accelerating it, writes the author of the research study, Anti-Aging Through Fitness Enhancement. The most recent scientific evidence shows that regularly and appropriately practiced physical exercise in order to improve physical fitness is currently the best way to delay or even prevent the consequences of aging. Such exercise always brings benefit, irrespective of the age, sex, health, and or the physical condition of the person who undertakes it. So that means, even if you're old already, take your behind to the gym, because this is going to prolong your life. Now, if my wife is watching, or if my wife is listening, she will tell you many of times that I push her to be physically active because the ultimate goal is to be around longer. It's not about having this, dope body, although that's a benefit. It's not about that ultimately. It's about being around and being able to do things for a longer period of time. I don't want to be 60, 70, 80 years old and can't do shit. I don't want to be that person. That doesn't mean at 80 years old, I'm going to be doing everything that I did at 20 and 30. But damn it, at 80, I want to be able to look at myself and say, hey, I could do what I was doing at 40. Maybe even at 50. I might not be running 6-minute miles at 80, but I still want to be able to run. I definitely want to be able to run. I definitely want to be able to box. I definitely want to be able to dance. I definitely want to be able to travel and not feel like it was the world's greatest ordeal. I still want to be able to defend myself. I still want to be able to defend others. At the end of the day, I don't want to feel like I'm at the tail end. I want to feel like when I go, it's a surprise. And I'm talking about going as a surprise in healthy terms. I want it to be a surprise. I don't want it to be some I hate to sound morbid, but I don't want it to be this long drawn out process where I just know it's coming and it's chasing me down and it's dragging me to the floor and slowly suffocating me. I don't want that. I want it to be a shock. I want it to be like, oh, well, oh crap, I'm dead. So I would tell you that as we age, yes, it's not going to feel as good. I remember the episode of Law and Order SVU where Finn and Benson were chasing a perp, and they were running through the city, through the streets, and they got dusted. And Finn had to look at Benson because Benson was like, just 10 years ago, I would have caught that guy. And he said, let's just face it, Liv, we're not the same anymore. That doesn't mean we can't do our jobs, but we ain't the same anymore. So with that being said, do I expect to full on compete with 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds well into my 50s and my 60s? No. But do I expect that I should be able to perform at a level and standard that the average 50 or the average 50, mid to late 50s, early 60-year-olds can't be doing? Yes. I should be at the level where at 60 years old, the average 60-year-old can't compete with me either. I'm running with 40s. I'm running with early to late 40-year-olds. And I'm competing well with them. I should be able to do that. I'm shaving at least 20 years off of me. That's the plan, at least. I just want you guys to appreciate that exercise is the key to your problems. I don't give a damn if you're 600 pounds. I don't give a damn if you're 60 pounds. Fitness is key. Not exercising to death, but fitness, exercising for a purpose, exercising to perform, exercising to sustain, and exercising to maintain is the real things that we should be doing. Now, before I move on to the next article, first thing I want to do is I want to shout out Crimson Cure for discussing the call out of what fitness with women should be like. Now, I personally have talked about fitness with women for years on end. However, Sister Kendra has a unique perspective that, I want to say unique in the sense that nobody else has experienced it, but she has a perspective that I can't necessarily, I could speak on it because I'm an expert on it, but I can't speak on it because she overcame obesity herself. Apparently, I didn't know this and I wouldn't have guessed it, but Sister Kendra was over 300 pounds at one point in her life. And when she tells you the things that she tells you, like, do not consume so much sugar. I agree to a certain extent. However, you don't drink your calories. Eat the fruit instead of. Ladies, you will not look like a dude unless you look like a dude. I've said it once, I've said it a million times before. You do not have enough testosterone to create a manly figure. You can be muscular, but you will not be manly. The only way you'll be manly is if you're utilizing vitamin S, right? If you're utilizing vitamin S and you are exercising with that level of intensity, yes, you will start looking and sounding like a dude. But the average woman working out intensely, lifting heavy weights, is not going to look like a dude. They're going to look like a phenomenal woman. She was basically, I know she didn't get the information from me directly, but if you heard her talk the other day, you would have sworn she listens to my channel. You would have sworn up and down she scrolled through my channel and listened to everything that I've said and took that information and ran with it. That goes to show you, I'm utilizing this moment to show you that, in fact, I know what I'm talking about. I've been doing this for 20 years now. Professionally for 20 years now. For the last 35 years, I've been doing it for myself. I just want y'all to understand that yours truly is the real deal. Not a canned trainer, not some canned TV trainer who doesn't know anything and just does what they think works. I know what works. And I've done it with countless of people. So, with that being said, let's move on to the next article about exercise and slowing the aging process. So, Franciscan Health, can exercise slow the aging process? They're going over the same research, actually. Not a runner, that's okay. And I've said this also. Swimming, bicycling, using elliptical or stair climbing gym machines. Stair climbing is rough if you do it right. You don't gotta be at top speed on the Stairmaster, because that's just not it. However, you want to push yourself good 60 steps per minute, which is 1 step a second, you're gonna be breathing hard. Do it for a while, you're gonna be sweating a lot. All right? Anything beyond that, you're doing a little bit much. But if you can, go for it. Why not? But about 60 steps per minute is a legit stair climbing workout. If you really want to make it harder, make yourself feel heavier, put on a weighted vest. That makes it more intense. But I really wouldn't go more than 60 steps a minute, personally. Take classes that get your heart rate up. Think kickboxing, step aerobics. Ooh, imagine that, I'm boxing. Whatever you choose, it's important you do it consistently. To stay motivated, choose an activity you enjoy or that you can do with a friend. And make exercise a priority by setting aside time for it in your daily calendar. If I were not getting off of work and coming home to do this show, I assure you I'd be boxing right now. I'd be getting off of boxing right now. Boxing would be over right now. And I'd be heading home. I enjoy it. I actually enjoy it. I learn a lot. It challenges me in every way, shape, or form, not just the physical, but in the brain, because when you're getting these numbers called out, 136 or 135 or 1234 or 112, 45, these are all punch combinations. And if you are being told what to throw at the time you got to throw it, jab, double jab, jab 2-3, jab 2, slip 2, hook 5, right? These are all combinations that you can throw, and you got to be ready to throw them at any given point in time. And the faster you go, the more challenging it is for your brain, because you're hearing and reacting in real time. You're not even seeing, you're hearing and reacting. You're hearing, seeing, and reacting in real time. Okay? And it's fun for me. It's actually challenging my brain, and that I do crave and I enjoy it. So don't get it twisted. Don't think that punching somebody in the face is all that it's cracked up to be. That's not what it is. It's about really learning how to train your body and your brain to become one machine and appreciating that. So a physical therapist is another proponent of regular exercise, walking in particular, when he says is a key tool to help seniors with balance and fall prevention. My mother and my father are both outside of the age of 65. I encourage them to exercise regularly. They both know this. They know this. I encourage them both to do it. Why? You might ask, because I wanted them around. I have no real intentions on, going through grieving processes anytime soon. Now, again, it may come as a shock, and they might go the same way I want to go, and that's as a shock. However, do what we can for as long as we can until we no longer can. Okay? So, if you are somebody that is already older, say my age and older, and you have not started an exercise routine, my advice is always to go to the doctor first. Find out if you have any limitations. Maybe your heart can't take it because your cardiovascular system is compromised. Making sure that not only are you well medicated based on any type of issues you may have, but you are also well knowledge on what your medication does in the light of exercise. Like I said before, my wife's medication was causing her blood sugar to crash when I would train her. So even though her blood sugar was high at the time that she got to the gym, by the time she left the gym, her blood sugar was well stabilized and normal. So with that being said, make sure that what you're doing is what you like to do. And if you are the type of person that does not like exercise, I'm going to tell you one thing and one thing right now. That is, get off the pot. Find something. I don't care what it is. You still have to lift weights. There's no getting around that. Because you lose 10% of your muscle mass every decade, and it exponentializes thereafter, after the age of 30, you have no choice but to lift weights. I don't recommend people just simply doing cardio, because you're trying to stave off the loss of muscle. If you are losing 10% of your muscle mass every decade, your goal should be is to gain at least 12% of muscle in a year's time. In a decade's time. You should be getting physically bigger with every decade after 30. So you should be 2% larger than you were 10 years ago to stave off the aging process. And then every decade thereafter, you exponentialize it. So that means you need to gain 4 pounds after decade 20. So when you're 50, you need to get 20 pounds of muscle on you. 4 pounds of extra muscle on you. So that you kind of break even and you're back to your original weight. minimize your body fat percentage. I wouldn't minimize it too much because as you get older, you're going to need that body fat for not only a fuel source, but for actually protecting your organs. So with that being said, increase your muscle mass, maintain your body fat percentage, if not decrease it to a significant amount to where it is performative. And then last but not least, I would just be careful. Don't be so aggressive to the point where you think that you have something to prove to people, but at the same time, prove to yourself that you're still capable of performing. You ain't got anything to prove. You're not in the NBA. You're not the IBF Cruiserweight champion. You're not World Wrestling Federation, World Wrestling Entertainment heavyweight champion. You're not Serena Williams. You're not Coco Jones. Coco Jones is a singer. My bad. Coco Gauff. You're not any of them. I want you guys to truly appreciate where you are and how it is that you are getting where you're getting to. Like I told a colleague of mine who confided in me about their situation, I told them, do not beat yourself up because you can't do what you used to do due to your situation. Do what you can. You're dealing with something and it's affecting you physically. Don't beat yourself up. It's not like you are lazy. It's not like you're just sitting around the house eating bonbons watching Oprah. That's not what you're doing. You're exhausted. Not just from your condition, but your work. So if you're taking time out of your day to do something outside of work, do what you can and appreciate that you did it, if that makes sense. And you deserve to enjoy doing something and do what you can, and then slowly push yourself. Push yourself beyond it a little bit by a little bit by a little bit. And then guess what? When you see that you're performing at a level that is beyond your level of understanding at this point, because it doesn't make sense that you're performing at that level based on your condition, then so be it. Then you have accomplished what you set out to accomplish. We have to take our egos out of fitness in general. Yes, some of us have accomplished some things, and it's hard to remove the ego from it. But what I will tell you is you have exercise will humble you, especially if you're not putting in the work, or if you think you're better than exercise, that you are beyond exercise. Exercise will humble you. It will break you down and show you are not who you think you are, because every knee shall bow to the weight. Whatever that weight is, you're going to break. I don't care how strong you are. There's a weight that will humble you. There's a distance that will humble you. There's a speed that will humble you. So instead of trying to do that, just find the point of humility so that way you can ascend. Wherever your humble point is, embrace it. For a while, mine was 10 minutes on a treadmill to run a mile. Now it's 9. Actually, it's more like 8 now. But that's the humbling point for me right now. And I hope that I can find myself beyond it. But I will reach that point of humility like everybody else. I'm not special, and neither are you. We all are to be humbled by the weight. So, here is me landing this plane. Guys, you are a vessel of unique beauty. You are the accumulation of the decisions you have made thus far. If you are too tired, too weak, too obese, this is the accumulation of the decisions that you have made. When are you going to change your decisions? Because time waits for no one. You will blink and you'll be 50. I laugh with my students, the ones that I used to teach 8 years ago, 7 years ago even. Well, this will be 8 years for them now. I laugh because they're now 25, 26. When I taught them, they were 6, 17, 18. Some even 19. Don't get me started on my middle schoolers when I first started teaching. That's 8 years ago. They're now 21, 22 years old. Time waits for no one. And it's what you do with that time is whether or not you're going to be old. That's when you're officially old. I know I joke with my colleagues and say don't get old because, you know, my bladder doesn't want to work with me sometimes. But that's because I'm consuming a crap ton of water. Not because I drink, I'm drinking enough water and all of a sudden I just gotta go. I gotta go. I'm drinking so much water. I kid you not. I can literally take a swig of water right now, and I promise you if I weren't getting off the air here soon, I promise you I would have to get up and go. Pee so clear, I didn't even have to flush the toilet. Nobody would know that I peed in there. It was that clear. All right. So nobody should be dreading getting older, but nobody should be lying in wait to be overtaken by age. You should be lying in wait to overcome your age by putting in the work. I'm going to keep pressing this issue about putting in the work. Mindset, encouragement, accountability with nutrition. Okay? You got to get mean. If you don't get mean, you're never going to be lean. Okay? Guys, I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. Have a nice day. Be the best you. Class is Stoutt.